Good morning. I was going to walk you through a little bit of your Canvas course so that you could see what it looks like as we go through the semesters. So the screen you're seeing, this is the home screen that you'll see when you first log into Canvas. I'm not going to read anything to you. You can read through it. You can go, once you finish through all of this, and the biggest thing you want to look for is the modules page. So over in this left corner, you've got your syllabus followed by modules. So I'm going to go into the modules page here, and that's where you're going to be able to find everything. It is organized by week for you. First tab is just some extra resources for online students. There's a general discussion board where you can post general questions if you have them. Feel free to use it, or if you'd rather just Canvas message me if you have a question. Then it's got the orientation module. Again, I'm not going to click through all of this. You can do that on your own. The main things I do want to point out is the course schedule. So if you see the course schedule here, eventually you'll go through it. And that's going to show you what we're doing each week. And it gives you a little information about your homework, quizzes, your tests, and your final exams. And so everything's organized by weeks. Remember, this is an 8-week course, so we do move pretty quickly. All my work for each week is due by 11:59 p.m. on Sundays, except the last week. So do make sure you note that in your calendar. Our last week ends on July 29th. That's when the semester officially ends. So I'll remind you when we get to that week, but I do want to make you aware that week 8 work is due earlier because of the way the dates work. And the other thing I want to point out, and I'm kind of scrolling through here, we go back to modules. As far as your grade for my class, I keep your grade in the My Math Lab account. I do not use the Canvas grade books. I've actually hidden it from you so you can't even find it. So down here below the orientation module, you'll see this My Math Lab module. And that's where you can go. You can go to the first link. There's a lot of links here. I don't know why we have so many links, but you can go to the first one, and that will show everything that you have for the course. And it is in order for when everything's due. The second one is your grade book. This is where you will see your grade for the course. Make sure you have your pop-up blockers disabled or it's not going to load. So once you've disabled your pop-up blockers, you can load it in a new window. You do have to accept this. It's just the user agreement. And then it's going to show your grade as far as what you've completed thus far. And other thing I do want to mention is that for all your work, it is going to be completed in My Math Lab, except for upload. So if you go to the assignments tab here in Canvas, you see work for test 1, 2, 3, and the final exam. When you finish your test, you need to upload your work either as a PDF or a JPEG picture document. If you don't turn your work in within 15 minutes of finishing your test, your grade will be reduced by 50%. So for example, if you make a 70 on the test, I will change that grade to a 35 if you do not submit work. And you just upload it via Canvas, and then I'll go through and look it over with your exam. So just make sure you don't forget to do that. I do have samples of work when we get to our first test week that you can view if you're unsure how to organize it. So I'm looking forward to working with you. I know that's a real quick overview, but it's pretty self-explanatory once you get into the modules. But again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.